Today we will be on Chapter 4, Lesson 4, Multiplying Mixed Numbers. Please turn with me to page 281. So the most important thing that you need to remember about this lesson is MAC, the MAC attack. The MAC attack means to multiply, add, and keep the denominator. So again, multiply, add, keep the denominator. Let's look at the real world problem. Alright, in the real world problem, the eyeball of an Atlantic giant squid is 12 times as large as the average human eyeball. The average human eyeball is 1 1/4 inches across. Use the bar diagram to compare the size. That means I have to break this into 12 equal parts. Please do not count this. I don't know if there's 12. Okay, let's do it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Oops, one too many. So I'm just going to black this guy out like he doesn't exist. Now we have 12 equal parts. Okay, so when I do this, I know that I'm multiplying 1 1/4 times 12. But I can't multiply them in their current state. I have to turn them into improper fractions. So 1 times 4 is 4 plus 1 is 5/4. And then a whole number to become a fraction, you just place it over 1. So that's 12 over 1. And then I look to see if I can simplify within the problem. 4 goes into 12 3 times. 3 times 5 is 15. So what we know is that the approximate size of a giant squid eyeball is 15 inches. That's like a ruler and a third. Boy, that is one big eyeball. That would scare you if you came upon it. Turn the page. When multiplying a fraction and a mixed number, you have to turn them into improper fractions. And again, MAC, multiply, add, keep, denominator. So we have 2 and 1/2. 2 times 2 is 4 plus 1 equals 5 over 2. And again, we have 5 over 2. Let's look at the first problem. We have 1/3 times 1 3/4. So it's about 1/3 of 2 or 1/2 of 2, which we're going to say 1. So we'll put 1 in our little cloud. So we have 1 1/3 times 7 over 4. And again, I'll look this way, I'll look that way. I can't simplify anything, I can only multiply across. When I do that, I get 7/12, which is close to 1. I feel good about my answer. Let's do example number 2. So in example number 2, I have 5 1/2 times 1/3. So we know 1/3 of 6 is 2. So I'm going to put 2 in my little cloud. Alright, so now I have to turn 5 1/2 into an improper fraction. 5 times 2 is 10, plus 1 is 11. Keep the denominator, which is 2. And again, I look across, I see no relationship. So I have 11 times 1, which is 11, and 2 times 3 is 6. I can pull out one whole and have a remainder of 5 6. So I have 1 and 5 6, which is close to 2. Now it's your turn. Get it, got it, go. Pause the video. Okay, did you get what I got for A? I got 5/3, which is 1 2/3. And B, I got 5/4, which is 1 1/4. Now I want to look at B for just a second. Notice that I simplified the 3's, but I could have simplified the 8 and the 10, but I chose not to. I brought them out and then cut them in half. I could have done it inside. Waiting for the bell. I could have said 8 divided by 2 is 4, and 10 divided by 2 is 5, and brought it directly out as 5 over 4. But if that's too hard for you, it's okay to bring it out. But anywhere you can simplify the number in the inside, you have smaller numbers. The minute you bring them out, you have larger numbers, which then can get you in trouble. Turn the page. Alright, now we're going to multiply mixed numbers, which means both of the numbers are going to be mixed numbers, which means we have to do the MAC attack twice. MAC attack twice. And then we're going to simplify within the problem. And then we're going to multiply across. Okay? Alright, so in example number 1, we have 1 and 7/8 times 3 and 1/3. So first we're going to say 2 times 3 and get 6. So we'll put 6 in our little cloud. So 1 times 8 is 8 plus 7 is 15/8. And 3 times 3 is 9 plus 1 is 10/3. And then we look for relationships. In this case, we know that 3 goes into 15 5 times. The others are even. We can cut them in half, so we get 25/4. Again, if you don't want to do that, you would have ended up with 58, and then you would have cut in half again. Now we know that 4 goes into 25 6 times with a remainder of 1. So we have 6 and 1/4, and I had guessed 6. That's a very good guess. Let's look at the word problem. All right, the Hoover Dam contains 4.5 million cubic yards of concrete. The Grand Coulee Dam in Washington State contains 2 2/3 times as much concrete. How much concrete does it contain? That means it has more concrete. In this case, we know we have to multiply. So we have 4.5 times 2 2/3. 4.5 turned into an improper fraction is 9/2, and 2 2/3 is 8/3. So again, we look for a relationship. 2 goes into 8 4 times, 3 goes into 9 3 times. We multiply them across and we get 12. Is the answer 12? No, the answer is not 12. Always go back to the problem. In this case, it's 12 million yards cubed. Make sure you always go back to the problem to check the context of the problem. Because if you had put 12 down, I would have marked it as wrong. It's 12 million. There's a huge difference between 12 cubic yards and 12 million cubic yards. All right, get it, got it, go. Pause the video. All right, in this particular case, we get 31/2 times 39/4. And we look at it and we go, oh, this is going to be ugly because I can't simplify within the problem. That means you have to be very careful. First, multiplying the numerators, 31 times 39 and getting 1,209. And then multiplying the denominator, which is 2 times 4 is 8, and then doing a division problem. So once you do the division problem, you come up with 151 and 1/8 feet squared. Turn the page. And the last word problem. Mr. Conrad's pumpkin pie recipe calls for 1 3/4 cups of pecan. He plans to make 8 pies for his family. How many cups of pecans will he need? So again, we go 2 times 8 and get 16, so our guess is somewhere around 16 cups. So we have to first turn 1 3/4 into an improper fraction. 1 times 4 is 4 plus 3 is 7. 7/4 times 8/1. Again, the whole number needs to be represented as a fraction. You put it over 1. We look for a relationship. 4 goes into 8 2 times. 7 times 2 is 14/1, which is 14. He needs 14 cups of pecans. Now it's your turn. Please start the guided practice. See you soon. Pause the video. Okay, check your answers. Number 1, I got 1 3/16. 2, I got 4 and 9/10. 3, I got 4 2/7. 4, I got 11 and 1/4 miles. And then how do you multiply mixed numbers? You must attack first. You must turn them into improper fractions, then simplify, then multiply. Thanks for joining me. See you soon.